So start.
Good morning, all. Today's topic for discussion is cytokines in health and disease. So, the outline of this discussion is cytokines, its mode of action, structure, subfamilies, signaling pathways of few of them, cytokine storm syndrome, role of cytokines in disease, and their therapeutic application. So, what are cytokines? Cytokines are the signaling molecules of the immune system. Our immune system and immune cells communicate with each other with the help of cytokines. And they are produced by wide variety of the cells like lymphocytes, macrophages, dendritic cells, and also epithelial, endothelial, and as well as few connective tissue cells. So what do? They help in inflammatory reactions as well as in modulation as well as regulation of immune system. So, coming to few general properties of the cytokines. One of them is pleiotropic action. What is pleiotropic action is that one cytokine having different biological effects on the target cell. Here in this slide, we can see that IL-4 is produced and it exerts different effects on these three types of the cell. So it is responsible for activation in B cell, proliferation in thymocyte as well as mast cell. Next property is redundancy. Redundancy is when two or more cytokines combine together to produce a similar action, the same action. For example, here interleukin 2, interleukin 4 as well as interleukin 5 produce proliferation in the B cell. Next is synergism as well as antagonism. Synergism is when two cytokines have an additive effect to produce a biological effect. Antagonism is when one cytokine is inhibiting the effect of the other cytokine. So generally the communication mode used by immune system is of three types, that is endocrine, paracrine as well as autocrine. Endocrine is the one in which when cytokines are produced from the cell, they reach the target cell via blood circulation. In paracrine, the cytokines, the target cell is not very far away. It is almost near to the cell producing it. In autocrine, the cytokines act upon the cell itself. So most of the cytokines act in paracrine as well as autocrine fashion. So how do they induce the inflammation as well as immunomodulatory response is that they induce a stimulus is induced onto the cell which activates the cytokine gene which acts upon the biological cell to produce cytokine, and then cytokine mediated signaling pathway happens in the target cell, which results in the production of many biological effects. The cytokines have a wide variety of purposes in immune system. So let's see the general functions of the cytokines. What do? They help in lymphocyte or the other inflammatory cell migration and navigation. They also play an important role in B cell development and production of antibodies by VDJ recombination. They play a very important role in differentiation of the T cells. They help in cellular proliferation of the T cells, activation of the T cells, and they are also responsible for inflammation, which is production of the swelling, redness, and etc. So in this discussion, we categorize cytokines under major 6 families and we will discuss them under families. So they are interleukin 1 family, hematoprotein family, interferon family, human necrosis factor family, interleukin 17 family, which is the new one, as well as chemokine family. So let's go to our first family, that is interleukin 1 family, that is interleukin family. So this is generally the signaling pathway of interleukin 1. When interleukin 1 attaches to its receptor, which is nothing but the IgE antibody mode of the receptor, it activates MYD88 on the cellular domain, which is nothing but myeloid differentiation factor 8, which then activates TRAP6 IRAKS, which then breaks the ubiquitin TAB complex and frees NF-kappa beta. This NF-kappa beta moves inside the cell, induces cycling, and is capable of resulting in the biological effect. So interleukin 1 is the most prevalent inflammatory cytokine in the immune system. These are the components of the inflammatory one. It has both pro-inflammatory as well as anti-inflammatory components. So these interleukin 1 alpha, beta, 18, 33, IL-36 alpha, beta, gamma are pro-inflammatory, interleukins, whereas anti-inflammatory ones are this one, interleukin 1, RA 36, RA 37, as well as 38. So generally the functions of interleukin includes, it is a part of an acute phase protein which is produced by the liver. It is a part of a triad, that is interleukin 1, interleukin 6, as well as tumor necrosis factor. It also helps in increasing the vascular permeability of the blood vessels and modulates adaptive immune response and also forces the cells to express their adhesive molecules on the surface during inflammation. So interleukin 6 is the new emerging and it is responsible for many diseases like Crohn's, ulcerative and other diseases, and these are its effect on various cells. So as told, interleukin 17 is a new family. It is produced by T lymphocytes and most of its function is lymphocyte recruitment. And these are the other interleukins. These are the other interleukins and their functions. So let's go to the next family, that is hematoprotein family. In this, the most important one is interleukin 2. Interleukin 2. So this picture here shows the receptors of the interleukin 2. Interleukin 2. It has three different types of the receptors. That is high affinity receptor, medium affinity receptor, and the low affinity receptors. They are heterodimers and they induce JAK as well as STAT pathway. And interleukin 2 is mostly expressed in natural killer as well as T lymphocytes. So interleukin 2 is most important because it plays a crucial role in differentiation and regulation of the T cells. So it helps, for example, let's say a dendritic cell is present and it activates a T regulatory cell. The third most important signal in this pathway is production of interleukin 2, which acts in an autocrine fashion and then helps in the production of T memory cells as well as effector cells. So it plays a very crucial role in T cell differentiation. Now coming to the other functions of interleukin 2 as well as other proteins is HSC differentiation and proliferation as well as megakaryocyte and monocyte differentiation, basophil degranulation and neutrophil proliferation. The other molecule which is included in this hematoprotein family is GM-CSF. So this is GM-CSF helping in the process of the hematopoiesis. And here too. Now going to interferons. Interferons are most interesting among the cytokine family and they can be categorized under three headings, that is interferon class 1, class 2 and class 3. Class 1 includes interferon alpha as well as beta, 2 includes interferon gamma and interleukin 10, 3 includes the new one, interferon lambda. So they are interesting because they play a very important role in exerting the antiviral effects. And how do they do that? When a virus is entering into the cell, it injects its nucleic acid and starts resulting in the production of its proteins as well as nucleic acids. So this results in the activation of an INF gene, and which results in the production of interferons, which slowly pass through the neighboring cell attached to the receptors and induce a signal in the nucleus asking it to produce antiviral proteins. So in this way, interferon alpha, beta as well as gamma, they protect the neighboring cell from the virus as well as from the virus infection. So that is about interferon alpha as well as beta. Interferon gamma. Interferon gamma is important because it plays an important role in tumorigenesis. And these are all the cells on which interferon gamma produces its biological effects. It's a pleiotropic molecule and it has pro-inflammatory as well as anti-tumor effects. So let's see how interferon gamma helps in the tumorigenesis. It has both pro-tumor as well as anti-effects. Pro-tumor means driving towards the tumor. How does it do that? Is that it helps the cells to evade the process of apoptosis and as well as increase the proliferation of the tumor cells and helping the cells to escape from the killer cells that like natural killer cells and T lymphocytes. Whereas the function of the anti-tumor effects of interferon gamma is that it results in development, recruitment as well as activation of the immune cells and maintenance of T effector cells and direct inhibition of proliferation, recognition as well as elimination. So this is an important function of interferon gamma, which is being exploited for the use of uh, development of the tumor-associated macrophages. So this is the table which shows three different types of interferons. Interferon 1, type 1 interferons including interferon alpha, beta, and type 2 interferon gamma and interferon lambda. As we see, the functions of all of them is antiviral, whereas interferon gamma helps in immunomodulatory as well as anti-tumor response. So next, let's go to chemokines. Chemokines are chemoattractants, also called as chemotactic cytokines. They have a receptor of G protein coupled heptahelical chemokine receptors, and they play a very important role in movement of the leukocytes, that is migration of the cells to the site of infection. And they stimulate the migratory behavior, and this is very important in many processes of pathogenesis as well as inflammation. So they are categorized under four major groups, that is C chemokines, CC chemokines, CXC chemokines, and CX3 chemokines. So C being the cysteine residue and X being the amino acid. They have disulfide bond between them. So in this picture, so chemokines, any inflammatory cell that is moving along the blood vessel is capable of identifying the chemokine, as well as they take the chemokine gradient from low to high to reach to the site of infection and help in the process of engulfing the parasite. So movement is the most dominant biological process that is regulated by chemokines. So here we see the neutrophil and its steps which are driven by the chemokines, that is rolling, interaction, as well as transmigration. So chemokines play a very important role in diapedicis, that is extravasation of the neutrophils via endothelial cells into the lumen, into the site of infection, and they also force the cells to express adhesive molecules like selectins. So this is cytokines in health and disease and their functions like cell arrest, adhesion, chemorepulsion, migration, haptokinesis and haptotaxis, which is nothing but chemotaxis in two dimensions, transcellular migration. So this is a table showing the chemokine receptors and its families. Among them, the most important one is CXCR41, which is important for HIV, and it acts as a receptor for HIV virus. So let's go to tumor necrosis factor family. So TNF family is a pleiotropic cytokine. It has homeostatic as well as pathogenic biological activities. So it induces necroptosis. Necroptosis is considered as the backup of apoptosis, and it is considered as the regulated process of the inflammatory death. It signals via RIP/RIPK3 pathway. And TNF factor helps in cellular priming, tolerization, as well as transcriptional memory. So it is so new therapeutics have been introduced towards TNF, and which preserve its pathogenic effects as well as homeostatic functions. So this is the pathway of tumor necrosis factor. It is capable of inducing the most powerful pathway of MAPKS as well as NF-kappa beta, resulting in gene transcription as well as inflammation and necrosis. On the other side, it is capable of activating FADD, caspase 8 as well as apoptosis. So these are all the diseases in which human necrosis factor plays a role. That is rheumatoid arthritis, Crohn's disease, leprosy, many autoimmune disorders, and osteoporosis. Among them, human necrosis process also has pro-tumor actions in tumor microenvironment. So in M2 phenotype of macrophage, they are produced by macrophage and they help in angiogenesis, increase the proliferation of the tumor, metastasis, immune evasion, and are also one of the factors for the resistance in chemotherapy. So now let's go to cytokine storm syndrome. Cytokine storm syndrome is a process or is a phenomenon in which there is more increase or hyperinduction of the pro-inflammatory cytokine. There is aggressive pro-inflammatory response and insufficient anti-inflammatory response. So it is seen in wide variety of infections and few rheumatic diseases as well as few oncology or cancer diseases like in Spanish flu, Asian flu, influenza H1N1 as well as the current pandemic COVID-19. And in autoimmune disease like SLE, Kawasaki disease, systemic juvenile idiopathic arthritis, sepsis, HLH, macrocyte activation syndrome, which is again a complication of systemic juvenile idiopathic arthritis. So, in few patients who experience severe effects of the viral infection like influenza virus as well as other viral infections show cytokine storm syndrome in which few inflammatory cytokines are more increased when compared to the other. So it is also called as cytokine release syndrome, and these are the clinical grades of cytokine release syndrome: grade 1, grade 2, grade 3 as well as grade 4. In grade 4, mechanical ventilation being important, and organ toxicity starts from grade 2 and progresses towards grade 4, whereas grade 3 includes shock and hypoxia. So, so this is cytokine storm syndrome in COVID. So the A picture shows the interleukins as well as other cytokines involved in few autoimmune disorders and their expression. The green picture or the green color indicates their expression in the viral diseases. Like in viral disease, human necrosis factor, interleukin 6, 17, 23, 4, 13 are more higher. But the viral infection doesn't use the JAK1 and JAK3 pathway, whereas the fungal infection does. So this picture is important because it may help in targeting certain drugs towards this cytokine. So as seen in the picture, the SARS-CoV-2 uses acetylcholine-2 receptors which are present in lung epithelium as well as in the gut epithelium. And in normal patients who don't experience severe symptoms, these are the interleukins that are produced. That is interleukin 15 and interferon alpha, gamma, beta, 12 and 21. Whereas the patients who experience severe symptoms of COVID, they have an adverse spectrum, that is interleukin 6, TNF, 17A, GMC and CSF and GCSF. And again, the comorbid conditions like AIDS, smoking, diabetes, corticosteroids use. So this picture is from the recent publication which shows the normal state of the alveolus as well as the other side showing the SARS-CoV-2 infection and the inflammation. Here we can see that in cytokine storm, interleukin 2, 6, 8, 10, GCSF and this MCP1 and MCP3 are the chemokines which attract all these neutrophils and inflammatory cells. So these are the interleukins which are responsible for the cytokine storm in the COVID-19 as well as in most of the other viral infections, which result in pulmonary edema, that is vascular leakage, activation of the coagulation pathway, platelet adhesion, production of the D-dimer, inflammation, etc. So this table shows cytokines and their role in the diseases. Interferon alpha has a role in hepatitis B and C. Interferon beta in multiple sclerosis. Gamma in chronic granulomatous disease, Crohn's disease, as well as multi-drug resistant tuberculosis. Human necrosis factor alpha is very important and has most of the drugs targeted towards it. It plays a very huge role in rheumatoid arthritis, sepsis, refractory asthma, psoriasis. And the other one is GCSF, which plays a role in neutropenia, congenital neutropenia, febrile, as well as aplastic neutropenia. Whereas GM-CSF in bone marrow suppression, Crohn's disease. Interleukin 2 in metastatic adenoma as well as renal cell carcinoma, and few targeted monoclonal antibodies like nivolumab are indicated and they have been approved by FDA in these cancers. Interleukin 4 as well as 5 in asthma, 6 in rheumatic disease, 10 and 11 in inflammatory bowel diseases, that is Crohn's, ulcerative colitis. In interleukin 13 in asthma, erythropoietin, Another one is having a specific monoclonal antibody. So let's see in a brief the pathogenesis of bronchial asthma and the cytokines that are involved in it. So let's say on exposure to pest or an allergen, a dendrocyte or an antigen present in cells eats away this allergen and expresses its to Th2 cell, which brings the transcription in data3 and expresses its receptors. And results in the production of interleukin 13, which results in bronchial hyperactivity as well as goblet cell metaplasia. And interleukin 5 attracts the tissue eosinophilia in this environment, whereas interleukin 4 helps in production of the IgG antibodies. So these are the targets of the target drugs towards these interleukins. So in rheumatoid arthritis, it's almost the same here, but here it is different in that it activates this particular T cell which is activated. It is capable of producing its effect on the synovial and that results in the production of interleukin 15, TNF alpha, as well as 18, which helps in decreased collagen synthesis. And it also has a role in the bone, that is, it acts on osteoclast and bone erosion. The other thing is there is T and B cell cooperation, which results in production of IL-6 and and helps in activation of the plasma cell or B cell undergoing differentiation in the plasma cell and help in production of the autoantibodies. We all know that they are anti-citrullinated antibodies. So these are all the cells that are activated as a result of this autoimmune disorder. And PANAS is the one which is formed in rheumatoid arthritis, which
Monica, your
comprises
voice
of
again has become. Monica, can you just keep the mic close by because it's becoming a little.
yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Now, PANAS comprises of T cells, synovial fibroblasts, macrophages, and other inflammatory cytokines such as tumor necrosis factor, interleukin 1, 6, as well as 17. And these are again the potential targets for the specific interleukins in this disease. Similarly, cytokines also play a huge role in IBD, both ulcerative colitis as well as Crohn's disease, and the specific interleukins which are involved in them, and the genes which are upregulated in these diseases. And atherosclerosis, we all know that atherosclerosis is a there is in atherosclerosis there is improper lipid metabolism and deposition of plate and everything. So the chemokines are more crucial in this disease because they help in attracting the neutrophils and expression of the integrins on them, selecting from the epithelial surface and result in progression of the atherosclerosis. And cytokines also play a very important role in interstitial fibrosis. So cytokines in Alzheimer's. So microglia is the culprit here, which gets activated and produces inflammatory cytokines and chemokines. But whether is it responsible for the tau pathology is to be researched, but is sure it does help in neurodegeneration as well as neuron loss. So these are the cytokines in cancer and then helping in and their network from British Journal of the Cancer. So I'll just say a word about each of them. Interferon alpha is a pro-apoptotic one which helps in the death of the cells as well as it exerts anti-proliferative activity and it has an effect on tumor vasculature, whereas interleukin 2 it promotes the expansion of natural killer cells as well as T lymphocytes, which go and kill the tumor cells. So it is widely also used in expansion of the lymphocytes in culture. Interleukin 15 is again a dual phase molecule which has both pro-inflammatory as well as anti-inflammatory function. So generally it is useful for potentiating immune response. Interleukin 10 is released by innate as well as adaptive immune system and it helps in activity of pro-inflammatory cytokines. Interleukin 12 is again produced by antigen presenting cells, that is dendritic cells, macrophage, monocytes as well as B cells, and it has an anti-tumor activity. GM-CSF is used in expansion of the myeloid cells and it is used after bone marrow transplantation. It helps in expansion of the myeloid as well as activation of the myeloid cells. whereas TNF alpha has an anti-tumor activity. TGF TGF beta again has a dual role in the tumor, acting both as a pro-tumor as well as an anti-tumor.
Amelia?
Ma'am, main function of interferons is antiviral properties, ma'am.
Awesome. Anusha?
Ma'am, cytokine storm seen in infections like Spanish flu, H1N1, and the Asian flu, and it is also seen in current COVID-19 situation, and it can also be seen in other conditions also like SLE, idiopathic arthritis, Kawasaki, and it can also be seen in sepsis.
Okay, great. Gayatri?
Ma'am, cytokines are grouped into 4 major groups of chemokines. One is C, then CC, then CXC, and CX3C.
Very good.
Yes, ma'am. Pleiotrophy is nothing but when a cytokine has two different functions or more than different functions in different target organs. Like in case of interferon gamma, where it has both pro-tumor and anti-tumor properties.
Great. Saika?
It plays a role in psoriasis, ma'am, in sepsis
Okay.
and rheumatoid arthritis, ma'am. Asthma,
Okay.
refractory asthma.
Okay. Do we have more questions, Monica?
No, ma'am, the last one.
Awesome.
Thank you,
Monica,
thank you.
Presentation. I have a
Yes,
question
ma'am.
to you. You have put
Yes,
group
ma'am.
of chemokines, right?
Yes,
What
ma'am.
is
Yes,
lympho?
ma'am.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
What is
And
transaminase?
lymphokine is the CC.
Read about that.
Yes, ma'am. It is CC. It is CC chemokine, and it attracts the lymphocyte to the site, ma'am.
Okay, fine. And you were mentioning about this HIV receptors also, right? The importance of
Yes, ma'am.
CXCR4.
CXCR4.
What is the clinical implication of knowing these receptors and co-receptors? Any idea? Can you
They
find
can
out in the
help
group?
in production of drugs, ma'am, like therapeutics, and in CXCR4 is expressed in few patients of the HIV, and
So the cytokine storm that you explained, Monica,
yes,
is the
ma'am.
pathogenesis which you explained, is it similar in the diseases that you have mentioned? Is it the same pathway?
Uh, Actually, mostly
It's a
yes,
com.
ma'am. In the articles, they have mentioned few cytokines and few of the drugs which acts against them, ma'am. But sometimes few cytokines may be more in blood circulations in few diseases and may not be more, ma'am. That is mostly in case of viral as well as COVID-19.
Okay, right. So the response, that the cytokine response can be different in different individuals as well as in different diseases. Is
No, ma'am.
that
Individual molecules may be elevated differently in autoimmune disorders and other.
okay? Okay. Thank you.